Yes, yes, interesting. I want to talk to you also about, of course, your platform that you create is for, women who date women in the LGBTQ community, but also in your experience with just working with people more broadly, one of the things I like, or I'm trying to do partly with this channel, is to explore, what is positive masculinity and what are the good things for men that we can develop? Because we hear a lot about toxic masculinity in our society, and fine, that may exist, but what I'm more interested in is, well, what does positive masculinity look like? And let's focus on some of those things. Is there anything that you've seen, that you've observed in your practice or in your time? Even I know you're focusing on women who date women, but with men in the dating pool, is there anything that you'd say is a piece of advice or something that's positive that you've seen from men that maybe they could lean into more, that needs to get spoken of more?
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're looking at this issue because I am a strengths-based therapist. I think it's much more helpful to look at what's going right. And you said it there, of course, there's a pile of toxic masculine traits that guys get socialized from the time they're small. But there's also a lot of good there too. And if we spend our time focusing on the toxicity, we're just going to see more of that. So why don't we shift our focus to what guys are doing well and what they get socialized to do well in our society. So yeah, there's a ton of it. Advice for guys that are dating. My advice for anyone across the board is to be genuine. So if you're trying to like emasculate yourself, I guess is like, I know that's such a harsh word, but guys are trying to sort of tamp down their masculine sides. And I don't think that that's helping.
Mm,
I mean, I think that the main thing for everyone to remember is to pay attention. And if you're paying attention to the person that you're with, you're not going to step on it. Or you might say something wrong, but you're going to quickly realize that you said something offensive and then you're going to back off of it because you're paying attention.
mm.
Um, there was a scene. Did you watch the series The Morning Show on, I think it was on Apple
Yes,
TV?
I skipped through it. My wife loved it, so but I know of it. Yeah, and I saw some episodes.
There's this really poignant scene. The show is about, I don't remember the characters' names, but Steve Carell, the show is about him getting fired from the show for um, sexually assaulting someone. And it shows that scene where he brings one of his employees up to his hotel room to comfort her because they've been through kind of a traumatic event together. And they're talking, and she gets up and says, "Yeah, I should go." And he says, "Okay." And they're hugging each other. He's an older guy, she's a younger woman. He's her boss. So there's power differential there. There's this scene where they're hugging each other, and the hug, he moves his hands in tighter, like the hug changes. And you see her face, and her eyes kind of get big, and he's just not paying attention. So he turns it into a sexual encounter. The woman doesn't want the sexual encounter. She's not saying no because of the power differential. That whole thing, it presents both sides because I don't think he was just a terrible human. I think he was a human that wasn't paying attention and he wanted to have sex with someone. So he kept going and she didn't want it. But if he was paying attention to her body language, if someone's leaning in or they're not leaning in.
Mm,
And so that's the advice that I would give to men in particular, because I think women are socialized to pay attention more,
mm.
but women are socialized to tune into the feelings of the people around them, and I think men are not as much. But like in that scene, if he had just stopped to be like, "Oh, she's not really into this," the sexual assault would have never happened.
Right.
So I
Interesting.
guess that would be my piece of advice: is pay attention. Is the person genuinely interested in you? Are they leaning in or are they backing off a little bit?
Yeah.
And pick up on the cues of the person you're with.
That's so interesting you said that, because my sense, and I've thought this for a while, is that I think it's really important for both men and women, but all else, to actually be able to flirt. And flirt actually isn't just cheesy chat up lines. It's a kind of mature adult. It's a socialization. It's being able to, as you say, pay attention, look at social, subtle cues, non-verbal cues. Is a touch on an arm, is it a friendly tap, or is it too much? How long, if you're going to tap someone on the arm, do you hold on to them? And, if you're asking questions, do you pry or when to pull back? And it's a type of social maturity. And I think that men often can not pick up on the right cues or be too assertive with their cues. And so it's that kind of, you need to have the ability to have that sort of ability to flirt and know what flirting is, as opposed to being, abrasive or controlling, or, stepping over that line,
Yep. Yeah, because I'm making a blanket statement here because maybe not everyone likes this, but I think women want to be flirted with. I think most people want to be flirted with. It feels good to know that someone finds you attractive and you pay attention to where the line is. If you're flirting with someone and they're responding, then you keep flirting. And if you're flirting with someone and they're like, creep,
You
then
know
you
when to
stop.
back off. Right, right. Yes. And you need to be
Yeah.
able to pick up on those things. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.